A soccer kick takes many shapes, forms, and is performed differently, but the muscular actions and the type of energy system used, ATP-PC, involved remains the same. A more advanced kicker has a defined movement pattern and kick, while a novice kicker has no significant pattern and kicks are often varied. The muscles and body parts involved in preparation for a kick include the majority of the lower extremities, such as both the right and left knee using the hamstrings and quadriceps, the right and left ankle, which use the plantar flexors, and involvement of the upper body, such as the position of the shoulder. There are 6 stages that go into performing a soccer kick. The first is the approach, which includes the run up to the ball, the type of kick performed, and most importantly, the angle, diagonal, swing of the limb, and run up, and position of the foot and the player. The second component is the plant foot forces. The direction and velocity of the foot and the resulting contact made with the ball differ here greatly from novice to professional players. The third component is the swing limb loading, where the movement of the limb takes place, and its downward trajectory towards the ball. This is where maximal eccentric activity occurs in the knees. The fourth phase is the hip flexion and knee extension, in which the thigh is pushed forward and the knee extensors contract to swing the ball to make contact with the ball. The fifth component is the foot contact with the ball. Contact with the ball is very minimal, approximately 6 to 16 milliseconds, depending on the inflation of the ball, and it is at this phase in which most hamstring injuries occur. The sixth and final phase of a soccer kick is the follow-through. The most important thing about this last component is to have greater contact and support of the ball and to avoid any injury. Injuries happen 60 to 80% of the time in the lower body in soccer. According to the article, differences in lower extremity alignment and muscle activation during a soccer kick, females are most likely to get their anterior cruciate ligament or ACL more injured than males. The objective of this research article is to notice the impact kicking a ball has on injuries in both males and females and the effects it may have on the alignment of the lower limbs and muscle activation on both groups. The kicking motion was broken down into 5 different phases, each with different starting and ending motions. The results were similar for both sexes in terms of general velocity and the timing of the kick. The hip of the supporting leg had greater abduction in females regarding the alignment of the lower extremities. Muscle activation was greater on the supporting leg in males compared to the female participants. These results may lead to a better understanding of why females are more susceptible to lower extremity injuries than males. The soccer kick is one of the most viable and fundamental technical skills in the game because it is the method in which play occurs and goals are scored. Proper endurance, adequate muscle strength, and efficient technique are required to execute a soccer kick, especially throughout the entirety of a game. Training programs help improve different aspects of a kick by performing different types of exercises with sufficient time and practice. The physical state, including various other components of the individual, contribute to the end result of a kick and overall performance. The journal article, Effects of a Tendonic Resistance Exercise Program on Soccer Biomechanics and Muscle Strength, evaluated and examined the impact strength training had on kinetics and kinematics and the overall development of the kick. After obtaining the results and analyzing them, it was found that there was a significant increase, 5.5% in soccer kicking speed, as well as an increase in the lower limb joints and increase in muscle activation in the overall supporting leg. Resistance exercises like squats, leg press exercises, and weights aid in the development of a soccer kick. The study shows that these types of exercise programs are important strength and conditioning programs. It takes place in different types of sports and actions, such as in martial arts, rugby, American football, and especially in soccer. It is a vital motor skill developed over time. The process of a kick occurs throughout various planes and movements of the body. One of the most important aspects of a soccer kick is the segmental sequencing and sagittal plane of the kicking limb. Studies have illustrated that the velocity of the kicking leg is in direct correlation with the ultimate velocity of the ball. The kinetics behind the process of the kicking leg is not understood very well due to the complex muscle movements and gravitational forces that occur when a joint is used and affected, and it is not yet understood either. After relatively more practice, the kicker gained better positioning and range of motion, as well as better coordination and placement. Research indicates that the directional differences in the kicking limb are dependent on the task and the learner at hand. Few studies have been performed in terms of balance and its vital role in a kick. Evidence thus suggests that our light skilled soccer players have better balance than lower skilled players. The supporting leg also plays a fundamental role in the overall result of a kick, with the position of the ankle and knee being put much more force on than the kicking leg. Also, there is no difference in the overall velocity of the kick between the male and female player, and significant difference in the posture and position. In the test performed where players were asked to kick a ball with both their right and left legs. In conclusion, more research needs to be performed in relation to the kinetic and kinematic biomechanics of a kick, as well as the relationship between the supporting leg, balance, and the kicking leg.